This episode may contain content of a graphic nature, including descriptions of physical and sexual violence against adults, children, and animals. Listener discretion is advised. Hi everyone, I'm Talia.
And I'm Tanya.
And together we are Crimes and Consequences, a true crime podcast. Hi everyone, I am Talia.
And I'm Tanya.
And this is Tanya, my lovely co-host. We are two attorneys that like true crime a lot.
Like discussing it.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we don't like to commit it.
Right.
But we like discussing it. And I have a story today that I'm going to tell. And she doesn't know this story. This was suggested by a fan of ours named SHANEL B.
Thank you, Chanel.
Yes, thank you for it. It is a really interesting case. I spent a lot of time researching it. It was written by a lovely friend of mine named Rachael, but I added to it too. So I'm going to give you a little background, okay?
Okay.
This is about Alexis Tiara Murphy, and she's 17 when this story takes place. She was born on June 5th of 1996 in Charlottesville, Virginia. She had 3 brothers. They were younger. She was the captain of the football team, and she was beautiful.
Who's captain of the football team?
I'm sorry, volleyball team.
Thank you.
He really, I mean,
like, you go, girl.
She could. She could have been.
She could have been.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm a little tired. I have allergies really bad, and it's allergy season, and pollen is high.
Unfortunately.
So I'm a little bit like a zombie, and everybody always comments how I talk so slow. Well, sorry.
Yeah.
That's what you get. I'm a little bit of a zombie. She was hoping to play volleyball in college too. And she was looking at colleges because she's getting ready to graduate. She considered a career in accounting after high school, but she was your typical, this story takes place in about 2013. And she was like your typical 17-year-old. She had social media all over it. She liked Vine.
Vine.
Vine?
Oh, I remember Vine. Yes.
Yes. She had over 10,000 followers.
Wow.
Right? And she lived in a very small town that had less than 10,000 people. So she was very popular. Oh, I got to put on my glasses. She was described as joyful, vibrant, athletic, stunningly beautiful, with an infectious personality and a warm heart. She's about 5'7", weighed 150 pounds. The story takes place August 3rd of 2013. Alexis had left her home in Shipman, Virginia. Okay, small town. There's not a lot going on in Shipman. Like a McDonald's and
probably gas station.
A gas station,
right?
probably some bars.
Yeah, and probably that's
And
it.
some churches.
There might be a Walmart nearby.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
nearby, maybe.
She was going to leave on that night, August 3rd, to travel to Lynchburg to get hair extensions because she was getting ready for her senior photos.
Oh, fun.
And she wanted to look.
Yeah, of course, right?
The drive from her home in Shipman to where she was going to get the hair extensions was about 40 minutes. But she never made it to her appointment.
Oh.
Before leaving her home, Alexis tweeted on Twitter, quote, "I actually look cute right now." And that was about 5:40. She was always on her phone. You know how their thumbs go.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
fast.
my daughter's like
I don't even
I'm like,
understand.
how can you even do that?
I can't
so
even
fast?
see the letters.
I know.
Without my glasses. And just so you know, this was a Saturday evening. The last time her family saw her was about 7:15 p.m. She was driving her dad's 2003 Nissan Maxima. He let her borrow the car. She was last seen at Liberty gas station. And it's a popular gas station that has a McDonald's right next to it. And it's on US 29 in Lovingston, Virginia. And again, this is Saturday evening, August 3rd, 2013. Alexis's family stated she often went to that gas station because there was that McDonald's, and she absolutely loved their caramel frappe.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
Those are good.
Those are really good.
Too many calories for me.
Yeah, I know.
Alexis' family became concerned when she stopped answering her cell phone because she's, again,
Right. I
always
mean,
on it.
I can understand being concerned when your child who is constantly on their phone doesn't
mine
answer.
are.
Yes.
And it was starting to go right to voicemail.
Oh, no.
Which is
That's not good.
This was out of character for Alexis, as her family described her cell phone as her sixth finger.
Yeah. It never left her hand.
In the early morning of August 4th, Alexis' grandmother, because she lived with her mom and she lived with her grandparents, had contacted her mother, who worked the night shift, and said, Alexis, she didn't come home. And they're obviously very concerned. She's just going to get hair extensions, right?
Right.
So, and her phone's going right to voicemail. So the family contacts the police. And on August 4th, they begin their investigation into her disappearance. They knew something was wrong. This just did not fit this great student. You know, it didn't fit anything about her. And this isn't 1970s where they're like, oh, she's a runaway.
Yeah, she probably ran away.
No.
No.
On August 5th, the FBI and the Virginia State Police joined the search for Alexis. So they took this extremely serious.
They did.
And they found where her phone was last pinged. It was about 17 minutes away from the gas station. And then it died. Investigators searched a property on Canary Loop off of US 29 in Lovingston, because that's where her phone was. So they're looking, and they're actually using helicopters now too. There were hundreds of tweets with the hashtag Find Alexis Murphy. Everybody, they put missing person posters up, which we have one here. And one of her friends was able to convince a popular rapper named Whale. I don't know, W-A-L-E.
Nope.
Listen to what? I
I'm
don't
too
listen to
old
rapper. Yeah.
to keep up on the new stuff.
And he retweeted the message to more than 3 million people.
Wow.
On August 6th of 2013, so we're 3 days in, the FBI issued a statewide bulletin seeking information about Alexis's disappearance. And when they were looking for her, they started going to the area where her phone last pings, right?
Yeah, of course. That's logical.
And one of the people they met with was a man named Rany Taylor. And he's in Nelson County. He got on the radar because, first of all, his phone pinged in that area. And second of all, they had CCTV footage from Liberty gas station that showed her talking to a white male with a lot of tattoos. And he had one on his neck. It's like, I don't know, Tweety Bird or something like that really stood out. And her phone was pinged by him. So he gets on the radar. She's seen talking to him. Also, on the CCTV, it shows that Alexis is talking to this man. He holds the door open for her. She has filled up her gas tank and her dad's white car, and she follows this camouflage truck, kind of like a Bronco looking truck. And you can see it on the camera that it appears she's intentionally following this truck. Well, Rany Taylor happened to have a camouflage truck. They go and they try to talk to Randy, and he's like,
what are you talking about?
I don't know her.
Yeah, right?
No, they show him a picture, and he's like, never seen her before in my whole life.
Sure.
And Randy was 48 years old. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Randy. He worked off and on for the past 5 years previously as a used car salesman at a dealership in Ruckersville, Virginia. He's kind of rough looking. I don't think I'd buy a car from Randy. I'm just throwing that out there. He was the father of a teenage son, and he was never married. He didn't really even spend any time with his son for a while. But then the boy ended up living with Randy for a few years and then moved back with his mom. Okay. He has a criminal history. It's mostly nonviolent crimes that span over 20 years. I'll give you a little bit of background, not to bore you too much with him, because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, I was guessing. Yeah,
yes, he's a piece of shit.
I was assuming that.
He had some burglary, grand larceny. He was sentenced to 10 years in jail, but was released after 4.5 years. He was convicted of arson.
Oh.
And he got a 2-year suspended sentence and some restitution. And he failed to pay his restitution. So his suspended sentence got invoked. And he ended up getting out on good behavior after not very long. I don't know what he burned. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's just doing petty things. He paid a total of $855 for his restitution. Whatever. Well, who knows what he burned. In 2013, he had a petty larceny conviction in nearby Greene County. And he's also a person of interest for some other girls that disappeared. Really? But we'll get to that later.
Shady character.
Oh, a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should have showed you pictures, because we're putting the pictures on. I should have showed you where he lives.
You should have.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Then you would understand why you would never buy a car. And I don't think he sold many cars if you saw his home.
Well, he must not be making a lot of money at the job, because he's committing larceny and burglary and all those,
in a camper.
Oh, no.
And it's not a mobile home. It's a camper that you'd put
you'd hitch to your truck and go camping in.
But then he made a tarp over it for a porch. You're getting an idea?
Yeah. Oh, nice. Lovely. Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
We hang out way too much. On August 6th of 2013, at around 9 p.m., a passerby spotted what looked like Alexis's vehicle, or her dad's car, in a parking lot. There was about 15, 20 police officers. They surrounded this white sedan in Charlottesville, and it was Alexis's car. It was found at the Carmike IMAX movie theater. And that was about a half a mile from where Alexis worked. She worked at a consignment shop called Kid to Kid.
Okay.
Used kids' clothes.
Yeah.
Police dogs traced a scent from the car to these Arden Place apartments in East Rio Road, which was less than a mile from where Alexis' car was found. Now we're into August 7th. It's day 4. And there's about 50 law enforcement officers searching 30-mile area north and south of Lovingston. And they're paying really close attention to U.S. Highway 29, because that is where the route she would have taken and close to where her phone was. They gathered all this information. They talked to everybody, tried to figure out who Alexis might have been with. And again, Alexis' family knew, she didn't run away. They said she's a good girl. And this whole thing is just really unbelievable. And they were all over the media. And it's really sad to see them on the news. Investigators were pursuing leads, but they kept it very hush-hush. They didn't want to reveal what they knew. On August 8th of 2013, 5 days into her disappearance, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children added Alexis' information to it. And the FBI updated their bulletins and confirmed that her phone is not active. There was a vigil held. Hundreds of people came, and it was at the football field. So that's where I got the football part from. The family stated at the vigil, this has been the longest week.
Oh, I can only imagine.
We're just stuck on last Saturday, Sunday, And Alexis's aunt, Angela Taylor, added, "It just feels like my heart stopped and hasn't started up again."
Hmm.
They put pink ribbons all over in honor of her. So on August 9th, 2013, the FBI had moved their investigation from the state level to the national level. They began canvassing businesses on a road called Angus Road in Charlottesville, Virginia. They were looking to identify photos of individuals that had been seen on their surveillance footage. And they announced that they were trying to identify one particular person, the one with the tattoos all over him, which is fine. Tattoos are lovely, but he's got like a big bird right there, which is going to stand out if you commit a crime.
That's true.
On August 11th, 2013, they went to Randy Taylor's trailer, his camper. It's a camper. And they officially identified him as a suspect. And when they got there, they noticed something the first time they were there. Remember, he said, "Oh, like, I don't know her, blah, blah, blah." Well, when they got there, they had a search warrant, and they found a broken fingernail in the carpet and what looked like a nose ring, which she had, and one long piece of hair that was African American, all on the floor. Not a good sign.
No.
So, okay, obviously there's something going on with Randy. They do DNA. They do DNA testing, and it matched. The hair had
A hair follicle?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the DNA matched Alexis's, and so did the fingernail. So they're trying to figure out what happened. They're looking at CCTV footage, and they can see that Randy Taylor had went to a novelty store, we'll call it.
Okay.
For adults.
Okay.
And 45 minutes before Alexis disappeared, he rented 2 pornos.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's a Daffy Duck tattoo.
Daffy Duck. Okay.
Yeah, he rented 2 pornos before she disappeared. It's August 12th now, in 2013. Investigators are continuing to search the grounds near Canary Loop, where Taylor was living. And there was a press conference held, and they actually gave some information about the case. They combed the area around Randy's camper, and they hauled away. His camper was shit. So, it was filled with shit.
I can imagine.
It's gross.
Yeah, and I mean, it's almost a week later when they visit, and he hasn't cleaned up. So that will tell you something, right?
It's gross.
But he didn't run a vacuum or anything.
No, and I think he stole electricity from
lovely.
something to get it going. So Margaret, they're back there at his camper. Margaret Turner, that's a grandmother of Randy's son, and she owned the property where they'd been living, stated that Randy lived in this camper trailer. Oh, and he ran the electricity from an abandoned home nearby.
Oh. From an abandoned home?
I guess
somebody's paying that electric bill.
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe somebody was renting it. Nobody was renting at the time. I don't know. Maybe. He figured it out. Dumbass managed to figure it out.
Right.
Again, Randy was seen with Alexis following him. And something that's really strange is that Alexis's aunt recognized Randy when the police showed her a photo. I mean, it's got Daffy Duck there.
Right.
He had sold her a car.
Really?
3 years earlier.
Small world.
Yeah, right? And she found him to be really creepy. But I guess it was a really good deal on the car.
She couldn't resist it, right? It's such a good deal. I'll buy it anyway.
The police end up getting a second search warrant. And when they do, underneath Randy's gross, disgusting, nasty-ass couch, they find a shirt of his. And when they open up the shirt, there are a pair of fake eyelashes
Uh-oh.
and tons of, what is it?
Hair extensions?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hair extensions in it.
So eyelashes and hair extensions?
Yeah, it's really sad.
It is. It's terrible. Like,
it's really, really sad. So they have her broken nail. They have a strand of hair. They have her nose ring. And then hair extensions and fake eyelashes. And why would he keep it?
I know that's
It's the second time they're searching.
So fucking weird. Yeah, exactly.
They're
the second time
again, and you just forgot
he's a
to clean under your
dumbass,
couch,
right?
Just didn't clean under your couch.
They're not. He probably. Who knows? Did he forget about it?
I think that he wanted to keep it as a trophy. Randy appears in court on August 13th, and he's got this hearing for felony abduction, and it was handled by the prosecutor, of course. Again, he denied knowing her. No. But eventually, he admitted that Alexis had been in his camper. I mean, what's he going to do?
Right?
What's he going to do?
Yeah, of course. Like, really?
We've got her hair, her eyelashes. We have all of that. Of course he does. He says she came there with a man he didn't know. And he claimed not to know the man's name, but the man bought $60 worth of marijuana from him. He stated that while they were there, the man and him had some beer, but Alexis didn't drink any beer. And the man and him smoked weed, but Alexis didn't smoke any weed.
So she's on her way to get her hair done for her senior pictures, and she went alone. And she just all of a sudden shows up at his trailer with some guy to buy weed.
Yes.
Okay, that's the story.
That's the story.
Okay.
Randy claims that Alexis and this man went their own way in separate vehicles, and he maintained his innocence.
Sure.
He said it was a black man with Alexis, and they should be really looking for him.
Oh, of course. Yeah. He's the real perpetrator.
He was in his early 20s. He had cornrows and was driving a 1990 sedan with 22-inch rims.
Oh, nice.
He's got the details.
Yeah, he does.
Didn't remember Alexis.
Didn't remember a bit else, but he remembered those.
But then he remembers
rims.
Alexis and, the rims. Okay. And all that. So I told you they got that search warrant. They found all the stuff. His attorney said finding a hair in the residence doesn't mean he killed her or abducted her. And finding
Which is
the hair
true,
sections,
technically, yes.
And the eyelashes.
She just left them there, right?
She
decided she had enough with the eyelashes and the hair extensions, and she left them behind.
Her family did not believe that she went there with some unknown black male with cornrows. It didn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense to me, and I don't even know this poor girl.
They said it's a big, fat pack of lies.
Yeah.
And she wasn't the kind of kid that would hang out at a camper with Randy. Nasty ass Randy.
I'm just stuck on the fact she had an appointment to be somewhere.
Right.
Like she wasn't just out.
And within 17 minutes of being at the gas station, her phone is off.
Right. And like she's not out just like fucking around, driving around in her dad's car, like looking for something to do. She had something and somewhere to be. So
her family stated that she would have considered someone like Randy Taylor to look like some sort of freak.
Yeah.
And not go with him. So let me tell you a little bit more about Randy Taylor. He is a suspect in the murder of Samantha Clark, who disappeared in 2010. Samantha lived at the same trailer park area as him, and she disappeared somewhat in the middle of the night. And during the day and at night, he had called her 6 times. So she was like neighbors with him. And she just disappeared.
And
he was the last person to talk to her 6 times that night.
Was she a teenager as well?
Yes. She was 19.
19.
Very, very interesting, right?
Right. Like, why do they keep picking on poor Randy? Right? I know I'm being sarcastic. But,
They ended up putting a GPS on his car. There's a whole lot of stuff that's just really not worth talking about. But on August 20th of 2013, he was ordered to stand trial. They'd gotten all their search warrants and everything was found to be deemed appropriate. But they still didn't have Alexis's body.
right.
Where's Alexis? Where is Alexis?
Right.
They searched everywhere. Randy lived by a river, so dive teams searched the river, a 10-mile span. And they were on canoes, kayaks, rafts. Everybody's looking. They never found her, but they did find a red sweater that was caught beneath rock. And they investigated it, but it had no connection. On September 3rd, 2013, investigators announced that they had found Alexis's cell phone in searching Randy's residence. And it was really interesting. Did you know that they use dogs, and dogs can smell some sort of glue on cell phones?
No, I didn't know that. Really?
Uh-huh. And so the dogs found the phone in the woods by Randy's house. Sniffer dogs for cell phones.
Those dogs are amazing.
Who knew?
I know. I had no idea. There's
cancer too.
Huh. Oh yeah, that's right. They can.
So they can smell.
That's amazing.
They looked at her phone. It was smashed. It was like destroyed. And they were hoping to get coordinates from it and help see her precise location. And basically they couldn't, but it was only 50 feet from Randy's place.
50 feet.
But he didn't do it.
He didn't do it. No, she decided when she left to smash her phone and throw it in the woods 50 feet away.
She was never there. Oh, wait, she was there. It's
wait,
so
she was
confusing.
there.
It gets
Yeah.
so confusing.
She was with that guy, and sure.
So now there's a new person of interest, believe it or not.
Really?
Because Randy is like, I didn't do it. And he says there's this black guy with a cornrows, right?
Yep.
In late September of 2013, authorities identified a new person. They contacted the man that Randy described to them as the person with Alexis. And
He was a real guy? Okay.
he was a real guy.
Okay.
He was a real guy.
I was thinking he just made him up.
Well, it was a guy that he knew.
Okay.
And this guy,
okay.
yes, his name was Damien. And this guy was hundreds of miles away. So Randy actually said, okay, I did know the guy. So his story changes again. I knew the guy. His name is Damien.
Yeah, these are all red flags to the police,
And
right?
Damien had an alibi. He was in Alabama, hundreds of miles
Well, thank
away.
goodness.
Yeah.
Right?
Otherwise, yeah.
Otherwise, we'd be looking into Damien.
Right. And they did start. So there's a gag order. They search his property again. He ends up going to trial. His trial starts May 1st, 2014. It took 8 hours to find a jury. And this is a tiny place. Everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
Got to find somebody who's like, oh, no, I don't know anything about
Yeah, I don't
this
know
case.
this case. Or even though I know a little bit, I can still be impartial, right?
Right.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. He entered not guilty. But, I mean, they had the DNA evidence, right? A lot of it. His navy blue shirt had some blood stains on it that matched her DNA.
Really?
I mean, come
I know. Come on.
on. So with a reasonable degree of scientific certainty, they could say she was there. And then the human fingernail fragment, her diamond-studded nose ring, a strand of her hair. It's just gross. Anyway, they said there was signs of violence in the camper, but they didn't describe exactly what the violence was. But I'm assuming when you have broken nails, that is a sign of violence. And blood. That's a sign of violence.
Definitely. Yes.
I got to tell you something really fucked up.
Oh, no. What?
When they searched his camper, they found a scrapbook. It was a scrapbook of nude women.
Okay.
Okay. Their heads had been cut off, and instead, a picture of his coworker's daughter's head was placed where these women's heads should be.
Really? Imagine that's your daughter.
Cut off the heads of the pictures and put in this other woman's head.
That's very disturbing.
How
Extremely
fucking weird
disturbing.
is that? That's so weird. That's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Cuckoo.
Yeah, there's something wrong with Randy. Who
That
does
is
that?
putting it really lightly.
Why are people like this?
I mean, Randy described the photos as glamour shots.
Glamour shots. The nude
yes,
photos. Okay.
He superimposed a blonde-haired female who was identified later as the daughter of the used car dealerships of a coworker there where he worked.
What a creep. He's a complete
Imagine
creep.
if you're her.
I know.
And your head is superimposed.
I wonder if she ever met him. Or did he just see a picture on like this woman's desk and decide to like take it, and who knows, right? I think about the stupidest shit, but yeah. Fucking weirdo.
So at the trial, the cashier at the Liberty gas station testified against Randy, saying he saw him talking with Alexis for a few minutes before they both ended up leaving the station, and he held the door open for Alexis. And then video surveillance of the movie theater parking lot showed Alexis's car pulling into the parking lot at around 10 p.m., but they tried to enhance it to see who was driving it, and they couldn't. Mm-hmm. Roughly 30 minutes after that, at around 10:30 p.m., an Applebee's bartender reported seeing Randy looking sweaty as he asked if he could use their phone to get a cab.
Oh, okay. He's hoofing it to Applebee's and then
getting a cab. Right? Like, what? He said he needed a ride. He told the bartender his friend had passed out.
Okay, sure.
That's nice.
And I'm just going to leave my friend wherever they are, you know.
My friend passed out.
And I guess I can't drive their car home. Okay, sure.
Just going to leave. Tanya passed out, and I need to get home, so I'm going to leave her
in her car. And I'm going to take a taxi home.
I'll stick a little note on you.
Yeah. Randy's not too bright, so.
Cab driver identified Randy and said he took him home. They found inside the camper, they also found a pellet gun and a buck knife. Overholt, he's one of the sheriff's deputies, collected 2 beer bottles for analysis. And again, Randy is sticking to the story that Damian Bradley did it. He did it. But they're like,
he couldn't possibly.
He couldn't have done it. Bradley testified on the stand that he'd never been at Randy's residence with Alexis, stating, Alexis and I have never even been in the same room together. Like, why the hell am I involved in this?
I'd be so pissed.
So pissed.
Right? Like, what the fuck, dude?
He had seen her on Facebook before, but he'd never spoken to her in person. He gave his DNA. It didn't match. It didn't match anything in the camper. And yeah, he had nothing to do with it. Let's see, what else is interesting? Told you the canine units found it. So he was found guilty on May 8th, 2014. He was found guilty on the charges of first-degree murder in the commission of an abduction with the intent to defile.
Wow.
Alexis's mother, her name was Laura Murphy, spoke after the verdict was read and just talked about how, painful it was.
I feel so bad for
when
the
she
families.
did. Randy got up and tried to dart for the door. He's like, I don't want to hear this shit.
How disrespectful.
He was then escorted out. So Alexis's high school graduation, they honored her with an honorary certificate of graduation, which was,
I'm sure it was very
so sad.
It sounds like she was like well liked and popular, and not that it matters, but You know, like everybody knew who she was, it sounded like.
Taylor ends up, Randy ends up going, to prison for 2 life sentences. And then they get him for stealing some Honda 400R dirt bike. And they're just going after him for everything. And he does adds a little more time to it. So he had stolen these items the day before that she had disappeared. But time goes by. He's doing his time. And eventually he says where her body is.
He does.
He does.
He admits it.
Yes. The police found her body 4 miles away from his place, and he had buried her. And what they suspect happened is they believe that he lured her to his camper, that she went willingly just to get a small bag of weed. And while she was there, he brutally, sadistically raped her. And he admitted he suffocated her. That's how she died. So he confessed. He suffocated her. As far as Samantha, she's a missing person still. And what's really interesting is then authorities started looking at all the runaways and stuff. And there's 18 girls that fit the age profile in that small area that have disappeared.
I mean, statistically, if you compare the disappearances with probably the local population, it's probably
less than 10,000.
Yeah, right. It's a huge statistic. Wow. So he could be a serial killer.
Yeah, they suspect that for 20 years he's been probably doing that stuff.
And getting away with it. That's crazy. He's never admitted to anything else. No. But
Samantha lived
next
to him, and he's the last person to talk to her.
Yeah.
And she's never been seen since.
Terrible. God. I'm surprised. Why didn't he just come out with it? It's not like he's going anywhere. He's going to die in prison.
I don't know. He was saying he was innocent up until...
Yeah.
It took 7 years for him to admit that he killed her.
Yeah.
7 years. At first, he tried to strike a deal. And, he's innocent, of course. But he said, okay, if you give me 20 years, I'll tell you where the body is. But I'm innocent.
Yeah, I'm innocent.
And they were like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't do it. And they gave him 2 life sentences. And then eventually, 7 years later, he said where the body was and that he suffocated her. But I'm sure he hurt her very badly.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Before.
Oh, yeah, because there was a struggle. I mean, her nail was broke, her nose
She's
ring.
in this nasty camper.
I know, this poor girl. I know.
Only 17 years old.
I'm so sorry for her and her family. Yeah.
Her family seems very amazing. And they have a foundation for her set up. So that is the story of Alexis Murphy.
Well, thank you, Talia.
Thank you, Tanya. I'm sorry. I feel sad now.
I know. It's terrible. Terrible.
But on another note, you guys can follow us on our patreon.com/TNT. It's the letters, TNTcrimes.com. And we release 1 episode a week besides this that are ad-free and specifically just for our Patreon followers. And we also do the same with our Apple subscribers, ad-free, early release. And what else?
We have a website, crimesandconsequences.
Yep, with merchandise.
With merchandise.
That you can get. We have things that we used to be more vulgar, but we've tamed down because of...
the rules on YouTube.
Thank you.
I'm just going to say it. The rules on YouTube.
We've had to tame down, but some of them say, what the fuck, Tanya? Dead inside. I hate...
Yeah, if you saw last week's video... I had the T-shirt on.
Because we hate people sometimes. I hate Randy.
I hate Randy.
He's a piece of garbage.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
It makes me angry.
Yeah. And don't forget to hit the like or subscribe button.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That would be really nice of you guys.
Yeah.
We would like that. We would like that a lot.
You could hit like on this video.
And if we could, we'd hit like back to you.
Yeah, we would. And on subscribe to whatever podcast app.
Yeah.
You know,
whatever you want to do. Tell your friends, family. Have a Crimes and Consequences night where you gather all your friends over and have some wine.
Yeah. So, but until our next episode.
Don't kill each other.
Bye.
Bye.